We're on. Yes, no, yes, no. Yes, no, yes, no. Are we on? This is fun, you guys. I'm so sorry. All right, so I guess one person's on. So I guess this is working again. All right, well, cool. Anyway, I'm so sorry, everyone. Let's get back to where we were. Where the heck were we? So one person's on. Anyway, I don't know what I did. I switched. I think I added I added a different one. Okay, so let's get rid of that. Go back to our questions. Okay. Yeah. All right. So whatever. Let's go back to the questions. I really don't know what happened, but let's do it. I'm not on YouTube still. Are you sure? You guys? Check again. Okay, I am. Okay, great. All right. Wow. Unbelievable. So where were we? Yay, Annette. Okay, thank you. Thank you. My God. So where were we? Um anyway, Renee, you're getting a root canal removed, Renee. You've got to go to a biological dentist. I don't care. Listen, wherever you are, I don't know where you are. Go to Dr. Emma Abramayan in Glendale, California. Just get it done right. You've been through enough problems. Got to get that root canal out. All right, good. Yeah, I don't know what happened, you guys. It's like okay. So let's keep going with our questions here. uh, what happened to? Wait a minute. Where's my? Oh, there it is. Ah, okay, great. There we go. Ah, okay. Where are we? My God. All right. So what's the next question now? The question is from Catherine. Please start your Zoom meetings soon. Okay. Oh, hesperidin methyl chalcone 1,000 milligrams per day, 98% pure citrus aurantium extract. Citrus aurantium, commonly known as bitter orange. Will it help with stage 4 CFCs? Yes, 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 yes. It will. Because that's right. It is bitter. It is bitter orange. It's used as a essential oil as well. They get the peel. Um, these plants, the Ruta caceae, whatever they're called, grow around the tropics and the subtropics, right? And anyway, these plants in the bitter orange portion they get with it's got lots of terpenes and limonene, which is the main one, and coumarins. These are all really very important antioxidants, and they modify pathways and stuff like that. It's really good. It's been used in traditional medicine for a long time in Japan, Korea, and right around that area in um, where they seem to grow. They this the essence, the oils of the citrus aurantium is they're antimicrobial. In other words, uh, microorganisms. They're antioxidant. They're cytotoxic. They kill CFCs. Uh, they help with blood sugar balance. Uh, uh, they help with blood sugar balance. They help with blood sugar control. They help with blood sugar control. They help with blood sugar balance. 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 They help with blo They actually help with people not to gain weight, and they're anti-inflammatory. They're pretty powerful, pretty powerful. So now, when it comes to CFCs, the reason it's so good, like there's been many studies with it, right? Um, and so anyway, so it comes. These trees are like evergreen trees, and it's you know they it's an extremely like fragrant flower. All right, and baking soda doesn't help in any way, in many different ways. Like if it's burning, it'll help you right away. But in general, you don't want to reduce the acidity of your stomach. But if you got like really bad, it'll help right away for that. Other than that, there's other things, putting it on wounds and all that sort of thing. There's a lot of stuff to do with baking soda. It's a whole discussion in there. But anyway, when we're getting back um, to the citrus aurantium, um, which is called bitter orange, um, it there was a study where they looked at how it had, what effect it had on CFCs, right? What they found were there was 14 different flavonoids. Flavonoids are part of a group of molecules that plants produce to protect themselves from the constant radiation from the sun, right? And but the three main ones they found were nobiletin, naranagin, and hesperidin, right, which we've all heard of, right? But what did they do? They caused cell cycle arrest. In other words, they stopped it from dividing. That's pretty cool. They stimulated the cell to commit suicide, apoptosis, and they prevented um, metastasis. And the way they prevented metastasis was it actually had an effect on the metal metalloproteinases, which are part of how the tissues are held together and glued together, right? So so it inhibited that, um, and induced apoptosis. It actually increased p53, which is, as you know, it's called the guardian of the genome. It's one of the main tumor suppressor genes, um, and so it did all that stuff. That's pretty amazing, right? And that was done in a Korean study. So yeah, it's very important. So if you have stage 4 anything, yeah, stage 1 anything, stage it's good. It's very, very good. I would definitely do it. So, so an inhibited cell migration, right? Which is really important, right? Because of the MMP2, the metal metalloproteinases, which um, are how tissues are held together and all that. So amazing, amazing, and they make essential oils, right? You can use the flowers, the fruit, but you can use the essential oils. It's got all these phytonutrients. So yeah, it's very, very good. I'm sorry I didn't start out because I didn't see this, but uh, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, next one is from Val, and she says, I have dysbiosis of the gut, specifically SIBO, small intestine bowel bacterial overgrowth, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, and slow motility. I've been fighting chronic ear infections. I believe I need to correct my detoxification pathways, or I will not be able to avoid TNBC, recurrence TNBC, again, triple negative breast CFCs. Can't find any help in Orlando, Florida. I've tried 3 online programs. Okay, so now you really got to take care of stuff. So I just did a podcast with Carrie Ananaya, um, and we discussed exactly what we discussed with SIBO and how to heal the gut and everything like that. So we all need to heal the gut, every one of us. That's one of the other systems I wanted to talk about that we need to do. So how do we heal the gut? Well, first of all, we let it rest. How do we let it rest? Stop eating. Oh my God. Gotta eat, gotta eat, gotta eat. Mm. Um, remember that? Remember that phrase from Ecclesiastes? To every time there is a season, time to be born, a time to die, a time to laugh, a time to cry, a time to eat, a time not to eat. Okay, so it's time not to eat. So anyway, that's how you rest the gut. But anyway, so you rest you rest the gut by eating real food, and you don't eat for 18 hours between your last meal today and your first meal tomorrow. That's minimum. And you stop eating 4 hours before sleep, and you go to bed at 9. Means you stop eating at 5, which means your first meal can be at 11 a.m. Yeah, let the gut kind of heal. Now, what do we want to do? We want it to heal the gut, especially for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. It just means you have the unhealthy bacteria growing. Now, remember something. Any organism, whether it's a bacteria or an elephant or a lion or a scorpion or a mosquito, needs food to eat. Otherwise, they're not going to stay. So now we all have all the microorganisms in our GI system, in our gut, that everybody else has, but we have them in different proportions. So when we have them in a healthy proportion, then we don't have a dysbiosis. Our biome is in a healthy proportion. Why is that important? Because it's necessary for immunity. It's necessary for mental acuity, mental ability to think. It's necessary for blood clotting. It's necessary. It's like a fundamental to life. Now, if we look at the gut flora if we look at the organisms that are growing in someone, let's say, who ate a predominantly fast food diet, it would be quite different from the person who ate predominantly home cooked meals versus someone who was vegetarian versus someone who was vegan versus someone who was raw vegan versus someone who only ate animal corpses. Okay? No matter what you're eating, not only you are eating it, but all the organisms that live inside of you. So whatever organisms are going to grow and proliferate depend on your diet. So it just turns out that the way to reestablish a healthy gut biome is to eat the food that we're normally designed by, because that will also be the food for the microorganisms that we need to have. And that just happens to be, I know you don't want to hear this, lots of people. I know you don't want to hear it, lots of people. However, I got to say it. Because why? Because it's true. How do I know it's true? Because I've studied it. I've studied it in detail. And I've experienced it. And I've used it clinically. And it's called common sense. And if you don't believe me, take your clothes off. Well, first drive to the jungle, then take your clothes off. And then get it and let your car go over the cliff. And then you go in the jungle and tell me what's on the menu for dinner. Anyway, so plant food will give us the proper microorganisms we need. Okay. Now, the unhealthy guys, the guys that we didn't want, they protect themselves with what's called a biofilm. They put all this, they kind of like put this big saran wrap over themselves. So you got to get rid of the biofilm. There's something that does that. It's called biocidin. Just a bunch of herbs that actually does get rid of the biofilm. So you've got to do that. And then you've got to feed. And now what happens when you are, what do most guts have? Why are we pretty much sick? Because we all have little leaks, the tight junctions which hold the cells together in the gut. In the gut, the cells are held together so there's no spaces, so that anything is going to go through them to get into the blood system, to go throughout the body, has to be processed. It can't just fly in. Because we only absorb single amino acids. We only absorb single carbs. We only absorb fat in mycelials that go into the lacteals. It's specific ways of absorbing. All of that is lost when the gut, those little tight junctions between the cells get broken apart, then things leak in. They call that leaky gut. So you got to heal that. How do you heal that? Well, let's rest it, let it do it. There's a bacteria called Akkermansia whose job it is to heal them. Number one. And by the way, they like the polyphenols from berries, and especially cranberry and pomegranate. They love, love, love. But they like all of them, and that feeds them, and they'll grow. And you want more of those, and you can buy it too and take them. And then you want glucose, glutamine. Glutamine is a fuel for these cells that they're called enterocytes, the cells that line the small intestines. That's their fuel, glucosamine. And aloe is healing. So you can find a combination of glutamine and aloe. Use the biocidin to get rid of the biofilm. Eat, do a cleanse, a long juice cleanse, and then even a water fast. Allow this to heal. Got to get rid of that biofilm. Yeah, so you got to eat, and then when you start eating again after you've done the cleanse and all that, you're going to eat between in a 4 to 6 hour window. You're going to eat nutrient dense food that is for humans, and that means plants, fruit, leaves, stems, roots, seeds, nuts. That's our food. That's our food. And their food. So do it. You don't have to kill anything. You have to restore balance, restore all that. That's very, very, very important. Okay. So that's what you do, Val. I'm telling you. I hope you heard that, Val. I hope you're on. Okay, now let's try to go. This is Lisa, really quick. I have mucinous carcinoma in my armpit. Went to Chipsa Hospital. Mexico did cryoablation. Still have mass. Has not responded to immunotherapy. Now I start Capsilia, plus I'm doing mistletoe. Yeah, so Lisa, I hope you've been listening to this whole thing and you realize there's a lot of stuff you need to do. And the cryoablation, is okay, but sometimes. But you've got to change your internal environment so that those things are not being made anymore. And they can't live. Not responding to immunotherapy, which are the PD-1s or PD-L1 inhibitors. They call checkpoint inhibitors. And the reason it's probably not responding is because the tumors are not surrounded by T cells, cytotoxic T cells. And if they're not, then it won't work. And and that's called a cold tumor. And one way to convert it back into a hot tumor is to take ivermectin, 12 milligrams 3 times a day. That will convert it into a hot tumor. And then those PD-1 and PD-L1 blockers might work. But that's not all you have to do. You have to do lots of other things. Yeah. All right. So, and as far as mistletoe, it's good. It's an immune enhancer, but so you need other things too. Thymosin alpha-1, a peptide, you've got to get that. Thymosin alpha-1, you got to get a peptide to enhance your ability to produce T cells, mature T cells. Number 2, you've got to get methionine and enkephalin, which is a peptide made by the adrenal glands. That will reverse the immune suppression that is caused by the tumor microenvironment. That's right. And GC moth if you've had a fever for 10 days or 14 days. And you can do that with low dose IL-2, 3 million units a day subcutaneously. Yeah. All right, so that's that. You got to do that. And you got to be taking your vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A, melatonin. You got to correct your thyroid. You got to correct your adrenals, bring them into balance, all of them. All right, so, all right, now this is from Tommy. And what is the upside and downside of taking Kisqali for breast CFCs, even if doing a strict plant-based diet? CFC research recommends. All right. So they recommend Kisqali for people with HR positive. I think HER2 positive too. Um, and they want you to take it usually in combination with an aromatase inhibitor because they're focusing on estrogen receptors. Now, when they talk about estrogen receptors, they're talking about estrogen receptor alpha and not beta. And beta does the opposite of alpha, it shrinks them. So you want to eliminate alpha and you want to bring things back into balance and all that. Well, Kisqali doesn't do that. Kisqali is it's called a CDK4/6. It's a cyclin-dependent kinase inhibitor. Those are enzymes that are crucial for the regulation of the cell cycle. So they're necessary for the cell to go from G1 to the S phase. Where DNA replication takes place. So, let's block that, and we can block the CFC from replicating. True. However, it's not specific. It's going to get all the cells in the body. You don't want that. You don't want to block natural processes going on in your body. And then it's pretty crazy because what happened to my mouse? God. Anyway, so they always, what they tell you to is that if you're allergic to it, you shouldn't take it. Okay. If you're on tamoxifen, you shouldn't take it. Okay. Anyway, so what can happen if you take it? Well, your heartbeat can slow down. You elongate the QR interval, which is not good on your EKG, on your the electrical pattern in your EKG. Your QT elongates, not good. You wind up with electrolyte imbalances, right? Not good. And you shouldn't use it if you're pregnant, blah, blah, blah. And it can affect your ability to have children in the future. Shouldn't breastfeed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you don't need it. What you do need to do is get 2 handfuls of broccoli sprouts, organic, put them in a smoothie, and put them in fresh nut milk that you just made, and then grind up 3 tablespoons of fresh flaxseed. Put that in. Then you can blend it up. You can put, if you want, spinach or anything else, and then put some strawberries or whatever else. You can put even a dab of honey, whatever you want to do to make it delicious. And drink that. Okay. Eat soy. Eat miso. Eat edamame. Eat tempeh. Eat lots of soy throughout the day. Tofu, because that stimulates beta receptors, which shrink it. It's a phytoestrogen, yes, but it's beta, not alpha. Okay. Get a hold of 2-methoxyestradiol, 2-ME2. All right. That is very important. 2-methoxyestradiol. Try to get an even estriol. So what we're trying to do is enhance the beta receptor effect and forget about the alpha. Now, the nice thing about estriol, the nice thing about the soy phytoestrogens and the flax phytoestrogens, by the way, flax also downregulates alpha receptor production, which is fantastic. But like the other good thing, not only is this okay, it's a heavy agonist, meaning it stimulates the beta receptor, which shrinks. But it mildly stimulates the alpha, which grows. But the net effect, beta, shrink. However, because it's sitting on the alpha, nothing else can get on there like estrone or estradiol, which would be heavy and cause it to grow. It can't get on there. So in effect, it's acting like tamoxifen. It's blocking it. It's fantastic. Yes. Do all these things. And don't worry about drugs. There's no drug that's going to ever be made that will ever do what this will do. It's natural. Plus, if you're eating this way, you're going to be healthy. You're going to get all kinds of extra benefits called health. So, I mean, I'm serious. This is very serious. Kiss Kali goodbye, okay? You don't need it. You don't want it. It's a drug. It blocks a vital process in your body. It blocks the ability of your cell to go through its normal life cycle. Okay? It's not cool. All right. So, anyways, Joanna saying for this from Facebook, what kind of blood work should be done to check the liver on Fen-Ben protocol? Okay. If you're on Fen, I wouldn't ever only be on Fen-Ben. I would be on Fen-Ben, ivermectin, and niclosamide, and tinidazole, and or nitazoxanide, and fluconazole. Yes. But your liver enzymes are going to go up, and then they're going to go down. They're going to go up, then they're going to go down. You can check your enzymes first, your liver enzymes, the ALT and the AST. If they're already sky high for some, then you got to find out why. And if that's the case, you're going to have to decrease the dosage and frequency. However, if they were really high, you'd be really sick and you probably know it. But anyway, that's the only test to check. All right, that's the only thing to check. And then when you're taking it, so if you got normal liver function, the enzymes are normal, ALT and AST are normal. Then you can check if you want, but don't. You're going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Once you've done a complete 12 cycles of the spirit cleanse, then you can stay on Fen-Ben, 222 milligrams, like once or twice a day, and mebendazole, 500 milligrams once or twice a day, and ivermectin, 12 milligrams once or twice a day. Why? To do enhance what Fen-Ben did and does for Joe Tippins, and that is get rid of CFC stem cells. Okay, and also to be taking curcumin, and of course you'll be taking vitamin C, of course, right? Now, this is Grace. Grace is saying, root causes for what doctors call severe ulcerative colitis. Could a good Rife machine help? Whoa! I didn't realize time is. Yes. However, you've got to do a thorough cleanse. You've got to clean out that. You've got a severe dysbiosis in there. That's what's going on in there. Aloe will help. Putting aloe enemas and drinking aloe will help. Do a cleanse. Do a water a juice cleanse, and then a fast. Probiotics rectally. You got to get bifidonate, which with Bifidobacter bifidus, and put that in rectally. You can do it rectally. And fecal transplants actually work with ulcerative colitis. But this goes away. You've got to do that. And then you start eating just human food. Just eat human food. No more dog food. And no more robot food, which is heated food. All right. All right. Listen, guys, I didn't realize it was 9:23. I got to run. You got to run. This is even later for you guys. For me, the day's beginning, but now I'll be late again for everything the rest of the day, as usual. But anyway, and I sincerely apologize for all the mix-ups, and I don't know how to get out of them. Please go get into the get on that waiting list. Let's get this thing started and start being able to interact. All right, you guys. Swadee kap, namaste, aloha. Have a fantastic week, and stay away from doctors. Stay away from doctors. The best thing you could ever do for your health. Okay. Remember, you heard it first here. The leading cause of death, not the third, but the leading cause of death in planet Earth is medical profession. More than the military-industrial complex. Yes. I said that. Why did I say that? Because I mean it. Why do I mean it? Because it's true.